So this is actually one of the simplest ways to boost your lead conversion, and I've seen this happen a lot. And it's comes from this simple idea, which is you have to think about the whole experience from the customer's point of view. And one of the things we were looking at when working with clients on their conversion was they'd get a lead, they'd call, and we're thinking specifically in this situation of the leads that don't pick up, because you want to think about what's happening on their end. So they're going to phone call a number they don't know. And when you're getting that phone call, you're like, shh, all right, who is this? Some people might double dial, call them back right away again, and they're still being like, who is this? I don't know who it is. I don't want to pick up a phone number I don't know. This is a really common thing. Like a lot of people, instead of doing it, what do? They Google the phone number of the person calling them. So if they're Googling the number, and you can get your number verified, but sometimes what people are like, they're calling from new CRM numbers. There's different people on their team, and they don't have all those numbers set up that way. And there's actually a really simple way to do it. So you think of what's happening when they Google the phone number. They're going to type the phone number into Google and then see what the results. And what you need to do is actually go on Google and be like, if I type in my phone number, what's showing up? Like, what is that consumer, now that they've typed in my phone number, what are they seeing? Where are they going? And you'd be surprised at how often they go to sites and domains that you don't actually control. Like, it might be a realtor.ca style one, it could be Zillow, it could be your brand, it could be your brokerage, but that doesn't always funnel to you. You want to be able to control, and especially like if you're calling from a CRM phone number, like a lot of agents use Follow Up Boss, which is a great one, but like you select the phone number that you use through that to call through the app, that might have zero history. And if they Google a phone number and there's nothing there, the kind of immediate thought is it's either spam or a scam, and they don't want either one. So instead, go on your website, create a page, and I did this on mine, and it just says, did this number try calling you? And then it puts the number. That was me. Click here to find out why I called you. That's like the header of the page. And then there's a little description being like, hi, this is who I am. Here's a few of the reasons I called you. And then on the page itself, that's what I go through. It's like, if I tried calling you, here's one of the reasons it would have been. And you can add some personality to the page. And then at the end, like after you kind of explain why you were calling, you're going to do, listen, if you want to book a call with me, speed up this process, here's how you can do it. Otherwise, I'll probably be calling you back at some point. Look forward to speaking. But you put that information on the page itself, and it allows that micro moment. And like micro moments are an amazing way. Like I actually got the idea. There's this guy, Saul Orwell, great marketer, examine.com. He was at a mastermind and he was talking about how he realized there's a lot of little things. Like the first one he tried ranking for is he noticed people were searching like Saul Orwell net worth. And so he created one that basically a page that if you looked it up, went to his site and said, it's none of your business what my net worth is. And then he created one that answered the question, who's the most handsome man in Toronto? You went to it, Saul Orwell. And brilliant little thing of like, this is not something people are really trying to rank for. So if you know how it all works, it's actually really easy to rank for things like that have low volume. But the nice thing about something like your phone number, that low volume search, is kind of where you want to get them, because it's like that high intent, like they're in this very specific moment in the process of what you're doing. So you want to think of like, what are those micro moments that are very low volume, so not enough value for other people to target, but high enough for you, right? So think about what are those moments. Like the phone number is an easy one. Like we always recommend that. So like think of the different phone numbers you use. Create one on your site for each of those. It costs you nothing. I can even put a link in the chat, in the description, to a lead magnet we have that shows you how to like set up that page. Or if you just go on Instagram, DM me like phone SEO, I'll flip you the link to the little. It's basically a 2-page thing, and the one page is literally just breaking down. Here's the header tags you use, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's not that complicated. You use ChatGPT to do it as well for you. Give them your phone number and tell it to write it out. But if you do want the guide, shoot me a message. I'll give it to you. No strings attached. But think about it, like this is such an important part, is what are the micro moments along the way? Like when I have my Zoom, for example, and someone's in the waiting room, I've customized the message and I've added a little humor and personality into it so that when they come in, I'm able to get them to convert at a higher rate because they almost come in laughing and relatable. And that's how I'd also set up this page is I'd put some jokes in there. Or I'd like, for example, I do talk about my family a lot, and in my blog post, like where it shows my phone number, sometimes what I might put is like, here's some of the reasons calling you. And it could be like, could be calling you because of you inquired about our products, services. Maybe I'm calling you back because you were reaching out to us. Or you might be the parents of one of my kids' friends and you're reaching out to schedule a play date or something. In that case, text me, it'll be quicker, right? Like you can add those little pieces in there that adds it in. And if you're funny enough, like add a little humor into it, break the tension. Because like when they're getting that call, they're like, all right, who is this? Is this a real person? Because that's that first thought when you get phone calls, like this is spam, this is a scam, this is not something I actually want to take. So that's how we structure it is we look at when we make that phone call, they're going to Google your number. You want to control what it is. Really easy to do with the page. One other last bonus tip, if you want it, and this is actually I got from Tony Johal, great guy, great agent. And what he does is before he calls someone, he says, hi, this is Tony Johal. I'm going to call you in a minute. And the reason he does that is now instead of when it shows up like you think of an iPhone, and instead of it saying like maybe scam, maybe spam, that type of thing, it says maybe Tony Johal. Because now it can read that text and the phone's gonna be like, oh no, this Tony Johal guy just texted you. It's probably him. Now it adds that little extra bit of more likely for them to pick up. So we do that with the phone number. Then we also have the Google because we set up all these different ways so that we're controlling the process as much as possible so that we know that it's the best possible experience for the client. So whenever you're working on anything, think about how do they experience this? Like I see way too many agents who will like buy a service and they actually have no idea what the prospect goes through to get to a point where they become a lead. How do you respond intelligently and in the right way if you actually don't even know what they were looking for in the first place? And so we always look at what are those moments they're experiencing, how can we make them more likely to convert at each one? And this is just one of those little things that can have, for a low effort, high return. Because if they can book extra calls, you get more people picking up, it's a huge win. If you want more tips like this on how to kind of increase the sales and marketing side of your business, get better results, hit subscribe. I'm always here to help. If you have questions, put them in the comments, whether it's about this or something else, and we'll do everything that we can to help you. But otherwise, appreciate you taking the time today, and we'll see you later.